Hey folks, what's good? It is the end of the third day here in Blight League, and I thought I'd continue our little journal here. League starting as Freezing Pulse Totems. Mainly what I did today was focus on clearing out my Atlas. Trying to catch up. I felt like I was behind where I should be. We did, get into red maps, but I still have a decent chunk of yellow tier maps that I gotta finish up. Tier 7s are done. Obviously, we've got some tier 6s left, a couple of tier 8s, a few tier 9s, and I think just this one here in tier 10. And we've knocked out a little bit of tier 11 and a tier 12. I didn't really update a lot of my gear until after the stream today, but obviously we managed to 6-link our Soul Mantle finally. That one took me about 400 fusings in total, I would say. Still pretty decent luck. It's definitely below the average for a 20 quality item, so I'm still pretty happy about that. We did get a new amulet that allowed us to allocate Flash Freeze, and I definitely think Flash Freeze is going to be your primary target for a long time. Switching into anything else, like there's good options, right? Like you've got stuff like Throat Seeker, but Opalescent Oil is not cheap. I would say that's like 25 chaos a pop. I think Heartseeker is around the same price. It's Crimson Teal. Crimson, I want to say, is 10C maybe. I think Disciple to Slaughter is actually that yellow oil is gold, I think. It's even more expensive than the other two options. And Heart of Ice was pretty far up there too, which I think is gold and opalescent. That sucks. That's basically out of the question. This is way too expensive. Flash Freeze, on the other hand, is really cheap. That's Verdant, Azure, and Crimson in total. Actually, I think Crimson's only like 5C. In total, you should be able to do this for like 10 chaos or something. So, definitely what I'd focus on for quite some time. We got a new helmet. I picked up a Freezing Pulse, projectile speed, enchanted helm. Not amazing stats. Not ready to fossil craft yet, so I just wanted to get projectile speed. Kind of a scuff base, but it'll work. Finally upgraded our belt to get some more life and mana. I still have these gloves. I'll probably wind up having to craft gloves again if I want to get them anytime soon with faster casting. But we'll deal with this one for now. It's not too bad. Got new boots for more life and mana mainly. And I just crafted a better shield, which allowed me to keep the totems and get a big chunk of life and keep my resists. I haven't replaced the weapon yet. I think my next target after accomplishing all this is we want to get an Uber Lab enchant for our boots now that we have, suitable boots that are going to last us for quite a while. And that 120% increased critical strike chance if you haven't crit recently is a massive boost for the investment. So we'll be running some Uber Lab tomorrow to try and get that on our boots. After that, it'll be getting the multi-mod recipe and starting to save currency again for that. Hopefully by the time we've got currency together, the prices of level 85, Void Scepters and other Shaper bases that we might want to use should come down to more reasonable levels. But those are my two big goals right now, other than clearing out the Atlas, just gear-wise. I want to get new boots. New gloves will come in time, but I think boot enchant and then saving up for a multi-mod is probably best. I think just like the other videos, we'll probably just make a habit of running one map. Just kind of show how the build is performing in roughly the highest tier that I'm in each day. So we'll take this. This is a pretty juicy tower map actually. 40 pack size, 124 quant. Because it rolled 3 curses, and that's one of the nice things about this build is who gives a shit about it rolling curses, right? It did roll a pretty fat attack and cast speed roll And they do have 40 elemental resist. And we have 50% reduced flash charges. But it should be alright all the same. Some people like seeing tooltip DPS. So if we summon a bunch of curses and get our arcane surge up, we're about 150,000 tooltip maxed out on curses or so. What is this tower? Yeah, this is Chevron and what's his face. During the stream today, oh, I did just reset these gems for 20 quality too. We did do a couple blighted maps as well, just to try them out again. We did just a tier 1 and a tier 3. I got clobbered pretty good on tier 1, surprisingly. I think I failed around the same time, right? I think I had like a minute and a half left. But I did the tier 3 one after that and managed to complete it pretty easily. And I think there's two factors in that, right? One is the map layout. I rolled pen for the tier 3, and the pen map has a really nice layout for blights. It's just like one big hallway, and they'll come from both ends of that hallway, but it allows you to line the walls with things like arc towers. And that's one thing I've noticed too, is that these arc towers are really quite nice. Somebody in chat pointed that out, that I should try these. Oh, we got a proc shield guy here. And as you can see, this is how I'm handling a lot of the map blights. You know, now that we're at this point of gear, other than watching out for proc shields like this, you can just kind of like sit by the spore and use an empower tower, the buffing version, and just kind of sit here and let things come to you. And it's no big deal. Hey, that's a pretty nice little find there. I want to say black oil's worth about 12C, and opalescent, like I said, is worth about 25, so that's a pretty good little drop. I still, by the way, have not had a single exalt drop. This has been the worst league in memory for me as far as currency drops. Had to kind of do things the hard way, which made getting our 6 link even slower. But now we're pretty much in full swing, right? Other than, you know, not having a multi-mod weapon, the build is pretty much in a good spot. The only skill points I'm going after, 90-95, is going to be Doomcast, which is a nice note. Hitting 95 is going to bring me back up to like another, I think it's another 18% damage I'll get from the Doomcast line. I hate these reduced flask charge maps. It makes you feel so much slower. You can't zoom. Yeah, as you can see, I don't want a little ball haste. I'm not using Vol Ref right now. I just actually got that socket for a gem, and I decided to put Vol Haste here again, just for the fact that you don't really have to think about when you hit Vol Haste. You just kind of go, and if it's up, you can hit it. You don't have to worry about like, do I have the life to pay for that, or is the boss gonna smack me right after I activate it? Obviously, on a lot of bosses, you can pre-activate Vol Ref and just immediately hit your flask and make up for the health cost. But when you're clearing a map, you're not, you know, never totally sure, unless nothing's around, when you can hit that thing. Is that a rogue? Maybe. He didn't live long enough to find out. But the gear changes really really help bring my life pool back up to some comfortable level. What is this crap? I probably need to turn my loot filter up to a little bit more of a strict setting now. He doesn't realize he's actually dead. Yeah, for the most part, I feel like the build is in full swing. Things are really smooth. Hey, we got a Zana. So that was a profitable little map, wasn't it? Probably make, let's see what we get into our stack decks. Severed in Sleep. No good. But yeah, day 3. Oh yeah, we also sorted out our flasks a little bit. We got some full quality. I really like the chemist prefix on most of our stuff here. I currently have ample still here, and I think I will take care of this after I record the video and try to get this over to a chemist prefix. Everything else has quality though. Our Wise Oak is rolled properly. Switched over to a bubbling too. I did that just before the video actually. The chemist prefix I think is definitely the handiest. As long as you can get a 24, what is this? Silver flask is the one where you actually need to have a pretty high roll on chemist, which is a little bit annoying. You don't want to divine a flask, but if you get anything lower than 24, you'll get you'll use 31 out of 60 charges, so you can't immediately hit it again if you don't get any kills. You know, it's pretty rare, but it's still something to think about. It doesn't really matter. As you see, I got a 22% roll on chemist here, and I still got 15, which is the lowest you can get. If I go up to 25, I don't think you go down to 14 on that. But yeah, I feel like I'm sort of back on track. I think the first, especially the second day, I felt like map drops weren't good enough, and I didn't get any raw currency drops that helped, and so I felt like things were lagging behind a little bit. But now that we got the 6 link done, we've shored up we got like 4,500 health and 3,250 mana, which this amount of mana covers like 4,900 health, so I've got some room still to get more life. But from here, like, I'm pretty sure I could kill the Shaper no problem. It's just going to be a matter of getting to him over the next day or two, clearing out our red maps, and then saving raw currency for the multi-mod. I feel like this is about the point where you want to start considering multi-mod. Once you've got your 6 link, and you have some decent pieces, not stuff you can't upgrade, but just, you know, particularly your amulet slot, having the Freezing Pulse Helm enchant would probably be a good idea before you want a multi-mod. And then just some decent rare pieces down here in gloves, boots, and belt. Right around there, you're going to want to consider stocking currency and thinking about multi-modding. It's only day 3, the end of day 3. It'll be day 4 plus by the time you see this, probably. And if you aren't farming red maps yourself, then it'll probably benefit you to wait a few more days before you multi-mod if you're not in a hurry, because the bases are quite expensive. They're still, you know, you're still going to pay like 50C at a minimum just to get a Void Scepter that's 85, right? So you can hit the actual elemental affix that you want. You could, you know, grab a lower level one and just go for +1 to cold spell skill gems, as that's a pretty comparable affix like we talked about in previous videos. And I might actually do that as I sit here and think about it. But obviously having it a level 85 would be best so that you could hit either or and kind of double your chances of getting a workable prefix. So it'll be up to you how you decide to go about that. If you do want to go just the cold spell gems, realize you don't need a Shaper weapon at that point. You can literally just grab a Void Scepter or an Opal Scepter or whatever you want, something that's 40 plus spell damage. And I think one of the wands that has max cast speed is also a pretty comparable, if not slightly superior. I haven't looked at it in a little while. There's like a tier of weapons that are all roughly equal, and they're like 40% spell damage, and then the max tier of cast speed, I think it's 13 or 14% on the implicit. That'll be what I look for. Maybe I'll do that and just not get a Shaper one and chase the cold spell gems. It's like a level 2 affix. It's just a really rare level 2 affix. So yeah, I'm still really enjoying the league. I do still feel like they need to do some tuning on Blighted maps, especially the like low tier ones. It felt like the map and the difficulty, it seems like there's still some random difficulty in terms of You know how if you're it's in a regular map, you might get like a Blight that only has 3 portals versus one that has like 6? There's some variance in Blighted maps like that, where the one that I played on Pen, that was actually like a 2 tiers higher, was way easier. And you'll know because not just from the portals at the bottom, but you'll start with a much smaller pool of build resources. If you zone into one of those Blighted maps and you have a pool of thousands, you're in for a rough ride. You know, you're going to be in for one of the harder Blighted map versions. And it makes a big difference. I did a tier 1, and there's just like no hope of me winning that one, I think. I mean, maybe if I had been a little bit more careful with my tower placement or something. I also would recommend considering dropping something like arc tower damage. Those arc towers are very, very good. And when I did the Pen map, and I pretty much just entirely built arc towers outside of a few empower towers for myself. My dog is making weird noises out there. I wonder if that got picked up in the video. But those arc towers are very good. And they pretty much took care of the map by itself after a certain point. I was pretty much just there to pick off proximity shields. So dropping a couple, I think this is 2 verdant oils, which are relatively inexpensive. You should probably be able to just upgrade into them with a little bit of clear sepia oil, and you get 50% increased damage on those, and you'll notice that it makes a pretty good difference. So yeah, that's where we're at. Tomorrow's just going to be finishing up Atlas stuff, and then stocking a bunch of currency, and thinking about our multi-mod. I might do the Uber Lab stuff first and use up my remaining offerings. I did, by the way, finish up Uber Lab today. I don't think I mentioned that. Finally got all 6 of those, and by the time I got in there I was like level 90, so it was a pretty trivial run. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for the people who are coming by the stream. There's so many people compared to last league coming by, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can just stop by the stream whenever you see me online. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.